plan for today was to visit the following chateaus. We started off under the smoke of the cooling towers of a nuclear reactor. The river was quite foggy upstream, and in contrast, no fog at all downstream. We are now on our way back, as you can see, as the first chateau was a failure. Bushes all around, the gate was closed and it was fenced up. In order to overcome our disappointment, we ordered an extra cake in this patisserie and an extra coffee in the bar, and we sat down here and enjoyed it all. A very well maintained, beautiful cycle path. We cross here the Indre river. At this point the Indre is running parallel to the Loire, just a wee bit south of it. And here we find ourselves back on the bank of the river Loire, the southern bank that is. If we were to cross the river Loire, we would end up in the Appellation Contrôlée area of Burgueil and Saint-Nicolas de Burgueil. These areas produce predominantly red wine. There's only a little rosé. The red wine is made from Cabernet Franc, and a little of Cabernet Sauvignon is permitted, 10% max. It may be just a gravel path here, but it is at least a well-maintained gravel path. So, we've arrived at the next castle, Chateau de Uzé. The first mention of a building at this location was a wooden stronghold which was fortified in the 11th century. It was subsequently rebuilt in stone. It was rebuilt again in 1440 and the chapel was added in 1612. It was modified again in the 17th century, and it inspired the fairy tale The Sleeping Beauty by Charles Perrault. Also various Disney films were inspired by this castle. Crossing the river brought us into the next appellation area, which is Touraine. The main business center here is Tours. It can be seen on the map that it is a very large area. It's about 5,000 hectares. The wines here are white, rosé and red, and flat or sparkling. The grapes are the well-known Chenin Blanc and Sauvignon Blanc for the white and Gamay for red. And the better vineyards have as a soil the calcareous tuffeau. The next chateau that we're going to have a look at is Chateau Langeais. Chateau Langeais was built in the 15th century in its final shape. However, the earliest buildings date from 992. At that time the castle changed continuously between the Count of Anjou and the neighboring Count of Reaux. It was destroyed in the 100-Year War, but King Louis XI rebuilt it again in the 15th century. It was restored to its former glory in the 19th century. And on to our last chateau. So it's a very nice route. The cycle path, as you can see, is brilliant. If push comes to shove, I could get used to this kind of infrastructure. The first fortress on this location was built in the 11th century, but was destroyed by the Count d'Anjou in 1096. It was rebuilt again in the 12th century and substantially rebuilt in the 15th century. The castle was sold to Charles d'Albert in 1619 and has been in the hands of his family ever since. And he is still working.